Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new video. I'm working on a double page 6x8 layout here, and these photos are from my day trip to Winona with my friends in May of 2021. So I've already done quite a few layouts for this book, but I'm still working on some others. I think I'm about halfway through if I remember right. And so on this left side, I have a full 6x8. I did the metallic finish on this because I wanted it to really show how gorgeous the front of this building was. And then over here I only have 2 photos. That's odd for me. Normally I have at least 3 and only 1 card, but here I'm going to have 2. Don't know exactly what I'm going to do with those, but I have pulled out a bin of stuff here. These are just miscellaneous things I've gathered over time. What's in the bottom here are generally things that need journaling or are just kind of ready to go as is that I could just plonk on a card. Things in here have more phrases on them, so I really have to be careful that they match my theme because they have words on them. But I'm willing to go through all of these and figure out, is there something that I can use on at least one of the pocket cards? So I just went through my stash of normal journaling cards, not travel related, to see what I could find. I wanted something in brown. I literally had 1 card that was kind of made for journaling that had room and had brown on it, and that's this. Not quite sure how I feel about that because I don't have a quote really that I want to use here, but I like the idea of the colors a lot. I think it looks nice with these buildings here, and then it would allow me to bring in some darker brown on the left side because all I really have is the door there, but I could maybe find something else to add to that. I think I'm going to cheat a little bit and look online and see what information I can find out about the building that I could write on here, and then it would be kind of a quote because it would be talking about the building's history maybe. So I may do that, and then I think I'm just going to build a card over here, again looking through my bin of stuff to see what could I add to it that would be fun. Before I do any embellishing or really decide if I'm going to keep this, I figure I better build this other card first, get that done, because that may direct me with what I can do with the rest of the layout. So I just took a scrap piece of cardstock here. This is what was on the back, but I reuse wherever I can. So I'm going to use this side, and then I'll just dump out a bunch of this stuff and see what I find. So from the bag that I had that was all things that have phrases on them already, I found these here. And it's a somewhat odd mix of colors, but these match, as does this. I like that. I have some black and white items that I might be able to work in, and they're pretty generic phrases, so that helps. And then I have this one, and this may seem like an odd choice with this, but if you look closely in this photo, that color is there. So I'm wondering if I can somehow bring that out with the embellishments that I pick. So I think when I go into this part where it's mostly like journaling type stuff that's more open, I'm hoping maybe I'll find something that's close to this color that maybe I could work in with some of this and just layer it to make it fun. So from this bin of stuff, I found 2 items that I might be able to work in somehow. I liked this one because of that same sort of yellowy brown color, and I like that it says, "Let us pause on this moment." That's kind of cool. And then I found this, which I'm not even sure why it's in there. I could just cut it out and add it though. It's relatively close to this. These colors match. It would bring in some of that same color but lighter as well. So I'm not sure, but those are the things that I have picked out. So I think I am just going to try to layer them all together, and I don't know what I'll get out of that and how it'll turn out, but I'm willing to try. All right, I think I'm going very eclectic here. I think this is how I'm going to put together this card. Nothing is glued down yet, but I like the look of this because of this cutout. I wasn't able to figure out a way to really do anything with that. I thought maybe I could, just glue down this part and put a tab in there or something, but it's going to be behind a pocket, so it'd be pretty tough to pull anything out of there. So I think I'm just going to skip that and put that over it to cover up that spot, and then layer these like so, and then I can put some staples in there, and then maybe do a little bit of splattering because I do have some ink in this color, so that might happen. So I have that. It will go up here, I think, and then it'll bring in black over here on this part of the layout where it appears, but then also bring in some darker tones from the other side. But then I think I'm probably going to have to add something with black over there, or at least down here, to make it feel like it all really goes together. All right, I've put the card all together, and then I do want to put a little brad in there since I have the hole for it. Why not? So I've grabbed out a couple of containers here. I'm thinking I want this one, but I really need to hold it up to this to make sure it's going to look good. But I do have some other options if I don't like that. So I have lots of these that rarely get used anymore, so I might as well put them to use. All right, now I have the card all put together. I did decide to go with the brad that I showed before, and I love the way it looks. It brings in some of that same color just opposite of this, which is awesome. So I love that. Now I think I'm going to focus on building the other card that I had, because I'm going to pull out some other stuff from those bins I had. I think because when I went online to look at what I could put on there, it's really a lot of the same stuff that actually appears in this photo. So I don't know that I would really have anything else to add in terms of journaling. So I think I'm going to just use that other card as my base and build that instead. Here we are with the other card base that I liked, and I think I'm going to do something like this. I had pulled out these items in my original pile, and I thought, well, couldn't I just layer those on here somehow and then bring all that together? So I think I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to pull out that ink that I have and see if I want to splatter, because if I don't do that, this card has none of that color unless I use another one of those brads, which I certainly could do. But I still don't know that that's enough to pull that all together, but I'll at least glue all of this down and then I'll see what I think. Okay, so I have put the other card together as well. This is how it came out. I did decide to use those brads in both of the tags here to bring in that color. And then I also just decided to keep it simple and put the date in there for where it says currently. I figured that was appropriate, so I have that. Now I can move on to the other side here. And I think I want to use this little chipboard piece that I have that says this, and it's a semicircle, which mimics what I've got going on here in the photo. So I'm thinking I might put that down here and then take this and put it up top, maybe with enamel dots off the side, a little staple, something. It looks kind of plain by itself. But then this is how they would look together, and I really like how the color goes across both pages. So I definitely want to keep that. I'm still a little undecided about doing the splattering, so I think I'm going to leave that till last. I'll adhere these first, and then I'll reassess. I attached these, and when I went looking for enamel dots that were kind of this mustardy color, I didn't have any. I swear I had some, but I can't find them. Must have used them all somewhere. And then I wondered, well, since I was using brads before, did I have any that would match? And I remembered I had this kind of autumn set here. And look at what was in there. That one, that's pretty perfect. So I'm going to use that right at the apex of this, I think, to bring in some of that color on this side, and then this might be done. I do think in looking at this that the cards appear a little bit flat, so I am going to try just a little bit of splattering here. So I have my Heidi Swap Color Shine. This color is called Patina. It's pretty close to what we see here. So I'm going to give it a whirl, and less is definitely more in this case. I don't want to overpower this, so I think just a couple little sprinkles on both cards, and that will be enough. Well, I did the splattering on both cards, happy with that, and then I decided to try just a little bit over here, so I had to sort of protect it around this, and I ended up getting 3 little dots. I have those 2, and then one you can barely see on the edge, but that's okay, I'll keep it. And I don't want to mess with it, because sometimes you try to do that, it makes things worse, so I'm just going to leave it alone. And then on here you can see, I'll do some close-ups, you can see how the ink landed on these. There you go. And it's not totally dry yet, so I don't want to put them all in the pockets, but I have them arranged here so that you can see what it looks like as the finished layout. And I'm pretty happy with how it ended up today. Wasn't sure where it was going to go when I started, but I'm happy with the end result. Thanks for watching.